right, so I'm Richard Wright, member of the New Hampshire Society, Sons of the American Revolution, and we're here at the Matthew Harvey Homestead and Musterfield Farm Museum in North Sutton, New Hampshire, for their annual Farm Day. There were musters here of military militia from 1787 forward into the Civil War, and our presence here is both recruiting, educational, and we've been doing this for a number of years. I first started coming here, I guess I knew Bob Bristol as an agricultural major, and I first started coming here in the 80s, and then the SAR started coming with the Newmarket militia in around 1996, 97, and we've been coming fairly regular ever since then. We've mustered as many as 100 militia, and now the field out back is, I have but a handful. The farm is, Bob left it in perpetuity as a working farm and history of agriculture in New Hampshire, and the musters, that was twice a year back in the 1800s, was part of that living history he wanted to perpetuate.
Well, today we're displaying weapons used during the American Revolution, the most common ones. At the beginning of the Revolution, you used your own weapon, which is usually a fowl or a hunting rifle. These are weapons that are primarily used, these top ones, by the military, and the bottom one is a rifle. So the most common weapon we use at the start of the Revolution are the Brown Bess, the British weapon, 75 caliber, fires a ball weighing a little over an ounce. You had weapons left over from the French and Indian War, weapons that had been bought. The Brown Bess had been produced for a long time. And originally, what they had were Brown Besses called a longland pattern, and they were 4 inches longer. Later they got shortened to the shortland pattern, which is what this is, because the long ones are just too difficult to carry in the woods. So this weapon was used a lot, and then there are also some of the French weapons. This weapon is a French weapon, colloquially known as a Charleville, after the Charleville arsenal in France, but they were produced in multiple arsenals. They were a very good musket. There were a lot captured during the French and Indian War. Many bought on the black market or trading posts in various places. It fires a 69 caliber shot, a little bit smaller than the Brown Bess, and originally is considered a better weapon. Both of these, they produced millions in France and Britain. After we won the Battle of Saratoga, one of the most important battles in history, because if we'd lost that battle, France would probably have not come in on our side, and we might have lost the revolution, probably would have lost the revolution. Over the period of the war, the French gave us 100,000 of these Charleville muskets, and we ordered other ones for the Continental Army. This musket became the pattern for the first American standard musket, produced by the Springfield Arsenal in 1795, and they kept that design all the way up through the Civil War. So if you look at it at a distance, it looks like a Civil War gun. The difference, they just unscrewed the flintlock, put a cap lock on it, some other minor changes. Later was rifled, the barrel was rifled. Kept that design up to 1870. They used a three-sided bayonet, both of these weapons. The bottom is a rifle, put out as a so you can see the difference between them. At the beginning of the Revolution, rifles were essentially unknown in New England. You may have had a few owned by some of the wealthy people, maybe bought in Germany or the Netherlands, but they were not made in New England. You didn't see them. All of these were smoothbore weapons. You first really saw rifles when Morgan's rifles came up from Pennsylvania for the siege of Boston. And thereon, since the war lasted 8 years, you started to see rifles made up in this part of the country. The rifle is accurate out to 300 meters, 300 yards, actually. These smoothbore weapons, 60 to 100 yards.
I've seen it.
And one reason that they fired close order in volley fire is to try to overcome the limitations of these weapons, which are inaccurate and take a long time to load. And so the idea was if you can fire lots of shots at one time, you have a better chance of actually hitting somebody. So we get a lot of business. Folks come up who don't get a chance to see these weapons close up and get an explanation of how they were used, why they were used, and how they function. And it often attracts the young boys, did when I was a young boy, and they bring the rest of the family with them. So very, very effective. And part of our charter is education, and this is part of it. Thank you.
Put some in the barrel. Make ready. Take aim. Fire.
Well, this is Jack Noon's book on the history of the muster field. It talks about the musters. Right now, he didn't have any copies for sale right today, I don't think. But I think the house has them for sale on a regular, at a regular basis, along with several other books. I'm here on Sunday afternoons in July and August doing blacksmithing in the Hazen Blacksmith Shop, and also here to provide information and recruiting for the SAR as well. If anyone's interested in joining the SAR, we have a Facebook page and a website under New Hampshire Sons of the American Revolution. And the muster field also has an annual membership drive for donors in order to keep this place alive and functioning. We need younger people in the hobbies, and they seem to be lacking of enthusiasm. So put your phone down and come out to the muster field.
Great, thank you.